All right, can we give it up one more time for our gracious host and let's go down. It's bright up here, y'all. I'm gonna put my sunglasses on. I'm told they might look Biden-esque. So for those who haven't met me yet, hi, I'm Julie Gunnigle. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a Notre Dame trained attorney going on my 17th year of practice. I will not give you the stump speech tonight because I think it matters so much more giving you an update about what this race really means in Maricopa County. So for those who are maybe just tuning into the county attorney's race, this is in fact the third largest prosecutor's office in the entire country. And we have had single party Republican control in it for 42 years. Who is ready to change that in November? Me too. And I want you to know, first of all, what we have that we have such a great team that is working on this effort because we have to reach over 2 million voters in order to close the deal and make it a reality. So Adam Metzendorf is here today, and he's Team Julie. We are all a team of, we're 12 ragtag, in your face, on the streets, knocking the doors every single day. And in fact, I just got off the morning shift, and I'm gonna go right back out right after this, because that's what the change really needs to look like in Maricopa, is getting out there and really talking to the community to understand what matters to them and how the county attorney's race could make life better for all of us if we could get a reform-minded county attorney. I was also about 5 minutes late today because on the campaign trail, one of the things that we don't talk enough about is our family. I'm raising 3 little children who are all in our public schools right now, one at community college and the other 2 in our public schools, and they let the dog out. So here I am, in heels, in my dress, running down the street. My neighbor says, "Julie, why are you running?" And any candidate who's here can also relate. The rote answer that almost came out of my mouth was, "I'm running for my family and yours so that we can treat drugs as the public health crisis they are and preserve all of our rights to abortion." But that really is it. Even though we say those words a whole lot, that's what this race is really about. If we can get a reform-minded county attorney, we could do great things, but only if we get there together. Because our county continues to be the 5th largest incarcerator in the country and the 8th largest in the world. That's how out of step we are. And my platform is based, the People's Plan for Real Justice is based on a very simple yet very radical idea in Arizona. What would it be like if we could just be average for once? Instead of either being the best or the worst in the country, what would it look like if we could just have sentences that mirrored the middle of the nation, which is the state of Ohio? What would it mean if we could start to treat gun violence, addiction, and mental health as the public health crisis that they are, instead of an excuse to incarcerate people and throw away lives? What would it look like if we could actually be fair and make it so that the wealthy, the well-connected, the powerful, the Ducey appointees got the same justice that the rest of us experience in the system? And most importantly, what would it look like if we could get away from being one of the states that has some of the greatest racial disparities in policing and prosecution in the country? You know what I think that would look like? I think that would look like justice.
Yeah.
And that's why Team Gunnigle is out there knocking all of these doors, making sure that everybody understands exactly what's at stake. Because when we talk about these issues, we know that these are real Arizonan issues. Like, look to your left, look to your right. 1 out of 3 of us has experienced addiction inside their life, and 1 out of 5 Arizonans has lost somebody during the opioid crisis. Overdose is a choice. It is a public health choice to not meet this crisis as a public health crisis and invest in our people and invest in treatment. And that is the one thing that your Maricopa County attorney can do to make all of us a heck of a lot more safe. We can only do that if we get our priorities straight. And I think we need to talk about priorities because raising 2 young daughters in Arizona, I can tell you that our criminal legal system does not have its priorities straight right now. Last Friday was really hard. Last Friday we saw from the Pima County judge, do you all know about this? Yeah, we saw the Pima County Court overrule an injunction that dates back to 1973 that protected us all from a very old Arizona law that criminalized abortion. That Arizona law dated back to 1864 and was part of a package of laws that allowed husbands to freely sexually assault their wife without consequence, allowed Arizonans to create an indentured servitude situation with indigenous Arizonans, and placed the age of consent down to 10 years old. So when we talk about laws that don't reflect justice, this is the last of those 1864 laws that was still on the books. And a Pima County judge said it was enforceable. It creates a mandatory minimum of 2 years in prison and a max of 5 for anyone who performs an abortion. And it has with it a little sister misdemeanor law that criminalizes even the advertisement of contraceptives. When we talk about what justice means in this minute, I can tell you what it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean the calls that we're getting from doctors in this moment asking how close it is that their patients have to be to death before they can perform a life-saving abortion. What it doesn't mean is whether or not victims of rape or incest have to call up the county attorney to get a permission slip to be able to access basic health care. And what it doesn't mean is that our young people in Maricopa County are questioning whether or not they have to leave the state to have access to these very basic rights that we had just a few months ago. And it was one of the questions that I was asked at the beginning of the campaign. Will you enforce these outdated, unjust laws that have been on the books for over 100 years? And I said the right thing and the just thing, not now, not ever. This is not how we use our criminal legal system.
Yeah.
And we need your help because there are people out there who want to pursue these kinds of prosecutions. And we know what they look like. They're scary. There are cases like Christine Taylor from Iowa. She's somebody whose story that I tell just so you get an idea of what this looks like. Because it's not just people seeking abortion. This is going to affect people seeking health care. Christine was a woman who fell down the stairs, reported to the emergency room, told the nurse that she needed to be checked out, and that when she reported to the nurse that she was in a rocky relationship, not sure how she was going to parent this new child with her partner, never mind the two at home, the nurse reported her to the police. She was held for 2 days in jail and endured physical exams to determine whether or not she intentionally fell down those stairs to induce an abortion or whether it was truly an accident. That's what a post-Roe Arizona looks like with a prosecutor who wants to go rogue on these issues. It looks like cases like Marsha Jones. She was an Alabama woman who got into a verbal fight in a parking lot. She was shot in the abdomen and she was held for over 6 months because a judge thought that she should have protected her fetus more. That's what's really at stake. I will say one other thing, because I think you absolutely nailed it when you talked about what it means in 2022. Because when we win this race in November, we don't wait till January to take office. We take office immediately upon the certification of the election. But this is going to be the most powerful office when it comes to certifying the 2024 presidential election in our entire country.
Yes.
It is. Yeah. And we need a county attorney who's going to go to work every day protecting your second most fundamental right, the right to vote. Am I right?
Yeah.
Because on top of being your top prosecutor, this office also controls the representation to the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors. So when those cyber ninjas came knocking with that Senate subpoena, it was your county attorney who initially said, yes, let's fight. But then when it really came down to it, when it really mattered, when they really should have appealed, they sat on their hands and let the audit happen. I have said this again and again, no more. We need a county attorney who values democracy, and that means protecting your ballot.
Yeah.
So I'm also somebody who believes that politicians should be explaining complicated issues rather than making people afraid of them. And I know that some of the stuff that I've talked about today can be scary, and it can also, let's be honest, kind of be a bummer. Would you like some good news?
Yes.
Oh, we're gonna win.
Yeah.
No, we are, and this is how you come into the campaign, because we really need you in this moment. We have polling from just before Labor Day that shows that we are up 3 points outside the margin of error. And just so you understand what that means, last time this election was decided by the most minuscule sliver. We lost by a little over 1%, it was about 30,000 votes. And what was shocking is out of 2 million ballots cast, 180,000 people didn't vote in the county attorney race. And the race was decided by 30,000 votes. Man, that's the opportunity, is it not? If we can convince people just to vote from the bottom of the ballot, those races that affect us the most, to the top, not only do we win by a couple of touchdowns, we win by a mandate, we win by such a shocking amount that we can go in there, we can clean house, we can make sure that those Sheriff Joe-style allies are out of the county attorney's office for good, but we can only do it with your help. I need 2 things from you today. First, I need, if you are able and willing to, get out there and canvass, whether it be for me or another down ballot candidate, to make sure that people understand that it is their power and it is this down ballot fall off that makes it so that we can't have nice things in our county. That is going to make all of the difference in races like mine. Secondly, sometimes it's hard to get that message out there. And if you ever knock doors and canvass, you know that sometimes that there are gated communities, there are apartments we can't get to, there are voters whose schedules make it impossible to actually have this sort of face-to-face interaction. And to reach them, we have to run a kick-ass digital campaign. We have been working, Adam's nodding, we've been working nonstop. I don't even have the words for how many hours we put into it. And we were within $100,000 of funding the digital campaign that we need to win. If you can give, and if you have the time, talent, or treasure, I want you to invest in this race, because this race is not only going to protect you from abortion prosecutions, it's not only going to protect the 2024 presidential election, but I can guarantee you that nobody is showing up at the polls to vote for Julie Gunnigle who is not voting for the amazing slate of Democrats up the ballot. Am I right?
Yeah.
And with that, I'm here to answer any questions that you might have. I also have the amazing People's Plan for Real Justice at Gunnigle2022.com. And thank you again for our gracious host and for the opportunity to talk with you this afternoon.
Yeah!